Hello everyone, how have you been all these weeks that I've been away? I guess you realized that we didn't have any sessions, I think in the entire month of October. And that's because I was away, first of all, at the Isle of Man International, an amazing tournament that I'm recommending to everybody. And then at the Global Chess Festival organized by Judith Polgar in Budapest. So I spent basically all my Thursdays away from home, but now I'm back and I'm going to be streaming every Thursday from now on. Promise, at least for the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be once again a Miss Strategy, Miss Tactics Day. I hope that you challenged Sopiko earlier on. She had a Banter Blitz session today, and also Pepe Cuenca, a co-host that I was very happy to commentate with on the Candidates 2016, was it? I always forget the year. But yeah, he's also an amazing person. I'm sure you know Pepe. He is basically, well, I guess everybody calls him either the ratatata guy or the baboom Pepe. So that's Pepe. It's a Miss Strategy, Miss Tactics Day, and we include Pepe today. He could be Mr. Baboom. Let me know how are you, because I know that we haven't talked for so long. Have you played any tournaments? Have you followed any tournaments? Do you play online? Do you study from books, from video lessons? Do you know that tomorrow is my big day? I'm so excited about it. So if you were here in my previous sessions, I was referring to a super secret project. And tomorrow is the birthday of my training course. So I'm extremely excited. I don't know how I'm gonna sleep tonight because tomorrow is the day. It feels like a baby that's going to be born. I'm not a mother yet, Sopiko is. I'm not a mother yet, but I feel like my training course is my baby. I've been preparing it for most of this year, so loads of months of work in it, and I just really want to see your reactions and how you find it, and if you like it, and if it will really achieve the goal that I had in mind when I planned it. So it's basically a training course for club players that feel like they are stuck on a certain level, but it's all gonna be revealed tomorrow. Tomorrow is the birthday of my baby boy or baby girl, whether it's a boy or girl. It's my beloved training course, and I hope that it will help you improve your chess. If you want to know more about it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, because I'm going to post a link to it tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big day, but today you are here to challenge me and to beat me. So let's bring up a chessboard and receive the first challenges here on Chess 24. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we are playing Banter Blitz. You need to go to chess24.com. Oh, this is the chat I'm reading, by the way. So you know that I'm reading it also from the iPad so that I can follow you. I see Katz Wheels is saying that yes, Prepper is great, and Autograph is here as well. Hallelujah Cat, hi Ocean Racer, Orpheus, Max Horde, Giovanni, so many of you are here. Hi to everyone. Hi. Oh, I also see that we have a birthday today, so happy birthday once again. Happy birthday. I already wish you happy birthday in the chat, but happy birthday also on air. Who else has a birthday today, by the way? Tomorrow is my baby's birthday, but I guess some of you also have a birthday today, tomorrow, these days. My real birthday is in November. Looking forward to it as well. Thanks, Hallelujah Cat, for the congrats. Yeah, I had a good tournament in the Isle of Man. I was surprised myself by the result because I'm a retired player already. I focus on helping you improve your chess and not improving my own chess. So I was surprised by the result. But we are here on Chess 24. You can watch the show here. And if you want to challenge me, all you need to do is click on my name under the video. Challenge me for a 5-minute rated Blitz game. Premium members get priority most of the time. Today we shall see. I need to see how many challenges I have. And I promise that I'm going to accept your friendship request on Chess24 once I'm done with the games, because I know I have many pending requests and I'm going to accept every one of you. So you can add me on Chess24 as a friend if you haven't done that yet. Let's see. Let's mix it all up and pick a challenge rated Blitz. 5 minutes, because I will need to be talking. I'm trying to see usernames that I haven't played yet, because it would be, well, a pity if I always play the same people, so I'm trying now to read some of the usernames, and of course you will have a chance again, those of you who have played me already. But first of all, I think we should give a chance to everybody. Therefore, I'm trying to go for new names. I wish I could remember everybody who I played already. I think Arthur, I haven't played you yet. Cross fingers that my memory doesn't fail. I'm not very good at memorizing names, so excuse me if I mix things up, and I need to adjust the board, I guess. Let's move it this way. Do you guys see it well? Let me know in the chat if you see the board where I'm playing with the black pieces. Seriously? D4. I'm going to play D5. And we shall see if it's gonna be a Queen's Gambit or what he's doing. He plays Knight F3, and this could be many openings still. So I'll play Knight F6, it's symmetrical, and C4. Now, either E6, which I normally play, or C6, the Slav, that I also play from time to time. Let's go with the standard Queen's Gambit. And this can still be, well, like this is going to be the Queen's Gambit. The other option is, of course, always with the D4, C4 setup, is the Catalan, when you place this pawn on G3, bishop G2, and castle. I think if I play D4 as white, I would go for the Catalan. I like those setups for white. Now, E3 is somewhat surprising in the Queen's Gambit, because usually you would want to develop this bishop first and then push E3. So I'm slightly surprised. I think this is a little bit passive. Of course, it's not a mistake. I just simply prefer when white develops the bishop first and then plays E3. So you can play bishop F4 or bishop G5 in the Queen's Gambit. And bishop E2 I also find a little passive. On D3 it's more active, attacking the H7 pawn. Now, lots of talking, but I need to develop my pieces too. This bishop is very bad on C8. In all my openings I have a bad bishop, the French defense in the Queen's Gambit, and I need to find a way to activate this bishop. I could play bishop A6, attack the C4 pawn, or bishop B7. Actually I like both, but bishop B7 is the normal square for this bishop. Then I can go knight D7 and C5, or knight E4. At some point I could take on C4 to open the diagonal of the bishop, or wait for white to take if he wants to take. Now, since he pushed E3, I think he must play with B3, bishop B2 in order to develop this bishop. If not, I really don't see what could happen. Oh, maybe he wants to go B4, that's why he plays A3. So, well, am I afraid of that? I don't think so. Let's develop. Yeah, let's continue with the development. I'm curious. Yeah, he wants to go for B4. Now, I thought it's not a big deal, but maybe I should have cared about it more. I thought that it is okay to allow B4 because, first of all, I can challenge it with A5. Shall I do that right now? I think I will. Well, I just like to see what my opponent wants. I think he should push B5. I'm threatening to take this pawn, and I would never recommend this move because then the A3 pawn is isolated and weak. You should push B5. You cannot really protect this because there's a pin on the A5. So queen B3 doesn't help. I can take the pawn. You cannot take back because the rook on A1 would be hanging. B5 I'm expecting, and there I should think if I want to play knight E4. Or maybe take first and then try to take advantage of the light squares before white manages to finish his development. I'm gonna have a look at the chat if you guys are saying something. There Henker is saying ratatata. Well, I hope that I will have a ratatata moment. I think you can only shout ratatata when you are really playing a killer move. And then it's Pepe style, ba-boom and ratatata. Yeah, I think most of my games are in a more positional way. You know me, I'm a strategy. So I don't have as many ratatatas as Sopiko. Sopiko is really, really good at attacking chess and brilliant moves, aggressive style. I think she should really have like lots of ratatata moments. Oh, taking on A5, that is surprising. Not that it's bad, but I thought that B5 was a better move because this is a weakness for now. Of course, it's not so easy to win this pawn. he will be able to push a4 if necessary. He can play knight b5 later on, and maybe my rook is not, yeah, you see, knight b5 immediately. My rook on a5 is not the best. It will have to move after bishop d2, but first of all, let's chase away this knight. And if he has to go back, I can later bring the queen to the a file, queen a8, and in the future, imagine if I could have all my heavy pieces on the a file and win this pawn. That would be nice. Okay, let's see if I want to take on c4 or just play queen a8. Now, I'm already calculating, because if queen a8, a4, then I take on c4, and I want to push b5 because of this pin on the a file. If I play this first and let him take on d5, yeah, I let him take on d5. Maybe it was even better to take on c4 first, but I feel like by principle I want to keep my central pawn and let him take on d5 if he wants. Of course, after taking on c4, the good point of that for me is that the bishop on c4 would be hanging when I push b5. So if he goes a4 here, oh, queen b3. Well, it protects the pawn for now, but I don't think that on the long run it's gonna be that good for you. But I need to prove it. Let's take here, and then I can push b5. So I'm fixing this pawn. You can't really run away with the a3 pawn. But for now it's well protected. I need to find a way to attack it. I can triple heavy pieces, but I need to be careful so that my rook won't be too uncomfortable. Let's go for it. So my question is bishop d2, rook a8, and in that moment, if white had any good jumps, oh, queen c2, whoa, I guess he wants to push some e4 and attack on h7, but this just gives up the pawn immediately. Let's go for it. I don't really understand why he played queen c2 in this position. No, I think he lost the thread, but I should play faster, that is for sure. Still have more time, but you know that talking and playing with not much time on the clock. Okay, he wanted to go for this attack. I think I'm fine. If bishop h7, I go king f8. This shouldn't be too bad. Of course, I must be careful, but I don't think this attack is objectively good for white. I wish I could read the chat at the same time, but I don't have much time, so maybe I should just focus on the game, at least for a moment. Okay, if he takes on c6, I can pin the bishop. That's why I'm not afraid of the hanging pawn. And in general, I would love to capture the light squared bishop of white, and then my bishop could become a monster after c5, opening this diagonal. I'm a pawn up, and I have better developed pieces, so this position should be close to winning, unless I blunder something. h4 is very aggressive. Very aggressive. I'm gonna take this and push c5 as planned. Oh, it's funny how all my pieces are on the a and the b file, so I need to do something about that. This is just another pawn for me. But look at look at all my pieces here on the a file. I need to centralize them. I'm gonna take on c1, even though this bishop is not developed. I think I'm gonna take it so that I trade pieces. But it's so ugly. Do I really want to do that? I don't like ugly moves, and helping the opponent. Well. Okay, I don't think objectively this is the best move, but it's a blitz game where I don't have much time, so I'm gonna go for it. And now let's push this one. Oh no, actually first I'm gonna play this just to see where the queen goes, and if this h4 pawn. Oh! Well, that was a queen. Thank you for the game, Arthur. I don't think the game went wrong because of this mouse slip. I think you had probably pre-moved rook d1. If I had pushed the pawn, of course, that would have been a good developing move, but with the hanging queen, it's problematic to pre-move. In any case, here the position is already winning for black. I have two pawns up. I'm controlling the a file, and after rook a4, once again, you need to be careful. You will need to play queen g3 to keep this pawn protected. I can later bring the queen to the long diagonal if I want to, or just start pushing my passed pawn. I have disconnected passed pawns here. So with one queen, I'm not gonna get mated. You would need to bring the knight to at least attack on g7, but I have enough pieces that can defend. I can always bring back the queen. I can, yeah, I guess I would have brought back the queen if necessary in order to protect my king. All in all, I think this position is already winning for black. Where it went wrong, after a5, first of all, I don't think you should take this pawn. I said maybe it's not a mistake, but I feel like this is not the best move. So I don't know how bad this is. Probably it's not, it cannot be a losing move for sure. I mean, white should be able to defend this position, but you are giving me the initiative. I'm gonna be attacking this pawn with queen a8, and I can bring the other rook as well to the a file. So it's unnecessary to give me this target, very easy target on a3. I think you should have played b5, keep the a file closed. And now I guess I would have continued with knight e4, try to bring this knight here and attack maybe on the king's side. But after b takes, I think even if the position is still roughly equal, it should be roughly equal, I prefer black because it's much easier to play this position for me. Let me know, guys, what you think in the chat. I'm trying to see if you guys have said something. Why I don't see the new comments? Let me update the page. I don't see the new comments. Oh, I don't see the new comments because I'm looking at Pepe's chat. Now that's brilliant, Anna. That's brilliant. Oh, thank you, Marshmallow. He's saying that it was an amazing game. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure it was such an amazing game, but thank you. Trollfjord Paddler. Yeah, b4. I think maybe b4 is still okay, but then not taking on a5. Just push b5 too if you were already expanding on the queen side. Thank you, Arthur, for the game. I see you also told me here in the chat, in the game chat. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Let's go for a new challenge because I know that you guys are here to play me, so I should play as many games as possible. Let's see who are the other challenges. Let's mix things up and also try to see new names. So, I think I haven't played against you. Fire. Is it how you pronounce it? Not sure. Fire. I'm really puzzled how to pronounce your handle. If somebody can help me out in the chat. I have the right pieces. Wow, it's not repeating black as usual. Before chess24 always gave me the black pieces so that I can play the French defense. I think that was the reason. e4, e5. Let's see what opening shall we play. Oh, what? Now, of course, I was expecting knight c6 or knight f6. Those are the standard responses to knight f3, as you all know. And I was going to play either the Spanish or the Italian. But after d5, I'm puzzled. I think I've never faced this. It must be a gambit that I have never really studied. Okay, let's capture on d5. I think he will push e4. Let's see what's the point of this gambit. Okay. Now, it's a move 3 and I don't know what's going on. Okay, where shall I place this knight? If knight e5, queen takes d5, and my knight is hanging d4, he's gonna take on d3. What's going on here? If knight d4, this is funny when you play a title player and she doesn't know the opening. I've never seen this opening. Maybe taking on d5 was not the best, but I don't think I should be worse here. I'm just puzzled. Okay, what could be the best move here? Okay, I'm gonna play knight e5. Let me know in the chat if anyone knows the name of this opening that I have entered without knowing. So I seriously have never seen d5 on move 2 in this position, e4, e5, knight f3, d5. I had to take with the knight because my knight was hanging. So I think here black should be okay. I'm gonna develop this knight, but we have traded both the e and the d pawns, so I don't think this is the refutation of the d5 move for sure. So I'm not verse. I mean, I can't be verse after 6 moves, but this cannot be the refutation. I feel like black is doing okay here, although I gain lots of tempi thanks to that queen, so I don't know if queen d6 I like. I'm gonna gain lots of tempi because of your queen. And if check, I'm playing bishop e2, castle, and you will have to move the queen later on too when I go rook e1. So now I like my position again. I think I did get a good position. Even though the pawn structure is completely symmetrical, I feel like I'm going to gain lots of tempi because of the queen. Look at this, I'm already starting to win the queen, win the queen, win the queen. If he castles, I cannot win the queen, but I have some discard attacks by moving the bishop. Now, do I have any good bishop moves? Bishop f3? Well, let's do that. Bishop f3, queen. Where shall the queen go? Queen c4, but I feel like black's queen will be in trouble. Maybe queen f5 is the safest. I certainly thought that after the opening I didn't get much, but when the queen landed on d6 and I got lots of tempi, there I started to be happy about my position. Maybe it's still nothing, maybe it's not a big deal. So I might be just happy about having just a small edge, but this looks like a nice... Oh, I should play faster, that is for sure. But I think my position is a nice edge because the queen is veered on d7, obstructing the bishop. So he will need to find a way to develop the bishop and connect the rooks. Until he doesn't solve that, I should be better. Of course, knight d4 is a nice move, and that's slightly annoying to me. But what shall I do? What shall I do? Maybe let's come here. I'm just worried that he will at some point have queen g4 as a good move, attacking the f4 bishop, still not hanging completely, but some tricks with knight f3 once the bishop is taken. So I should be careful about that, and I can't take back with the... Oh, this was brilliant! I'm losing material! Guys, if I take with the knight, knight f3, and I'm losing my queen, and if I take with the queen, oh, this was brilliant. I completely messed it up, knight c2. I had no good move after bishop takes. What is he doing? Oh, just making sure that I don't have any tricks. But now he's not winning the exchange anymore. Okay, once the game is over and I have time to explain it, I'm gonna come back to this moment, because after knight d4, I completely messed up my position. Now I'm a pawn down, but it's not as bad as having an exchange down, right? And I have well-developed pieces, so I think it compensates for the pawn for sure. Very active pieces. The knight on c2 is stuck. I think that black should lose this piece because there's no way back. The d4 square is attacked by both my rook and the queen. He cannot go to b4 either, so I think I'm gonna win a piece because you have no way to save this. Ooh, and okay, I just thought I disconnected, but it's my opponent. I'm gonna just take this. Oh, wait a second. Will he have some bishop f5 later on? I just don't want to step into any tricks. And I should play faster. Okay, let's think. What if... I want to win this knight, but how can I win it the easiest? Okay, this should be easy, but I'm calculating all sorts of stuff. Okay, I'm gonna take this first. Maybe it's a chicken move, but and now I should pay attention. If I come back then knight d4, that's what he wants. I'm gonna move this knight first, and then rook c4, but he's gonna defend it. No, I didn't win the piece. I messed it up. I shouldn't be doing badly. I prevented bishop f5 because of knight e7, but he just needs to develop the bishop and then he's not losing the piece. Or is he still losing the piece? No, this was not the way to play. I wanted to attack first of all the knight. I disconnected. Now it's really my connection. I disconnected. So I wanted to attack the knight with rook c1 or rook d2. I hope you can still hear me. But then I thought bishop f5, and he will save the knight because I will have to move the rook. Then he takes on d3 and comes out on b4. There will be a square for the knight. So whose connection is wrong now? I disconnected. Am I still live? I hope I'm still on air. Let me know, guys. Yeah, Giovanni is, I agree, it's a chicken run, but no, rook c1 was not winning because of bishop f5. Who failed to reconnect, me or my opponent? I think my opponent. I'm sorry, Orfeor. I think this is still a mess. So I was not, of course, not winning this game. Maybe I'm not even holding it. If you play, well, what shall you play? Bishop d7 or bishop e6? Bishop e6. At least I can win back the pawn if I want to. Yeah, I would not be worse, but I'm not winning the piece. So any move but not bishop f5. If bishop f5, then knight e7 fork. But if bishop d7, I'm not gonna win the piece because of rook c8 next move. So rook c4, rook c8. And the problem was that here after queen d6, I'm pretty sure that I'm winning. I mean, moves like knight e5 should be probably the best with the queen hanging, and then I will go for the knight. So I know that in this position, I'm pretty sure that white is winning in this position, but I didn't have much time to calculate it, and I started to see ghosts. So I went for the queen trade, which is not the best move, I'm pretty sure. And here I don't think I can win the knight, because if I attack it with rook c1, then bishop f5, well, I can take two pieces, so maybe this was the best. But I wanted to win the knight. I didn't want to trade it. Maybe this was still the best because what I played was not winning anything. Yeah, so my problem is that bishop f5 is coming, and if I play rook e2, then the knight is already out. It's a piece that is trapped on c2, but I don't have a way to take it. And if I come back with the queen, then I just thought he's gonna play knight d4, and I will definitely win a pawn back, but I didn't think I'm winning the piece. So I'm supposed to win the piece. Maybe really knight e5 and then go for the knight. I'm pretty sure that I missed here something very simple, but I shouldn't have won the game because of this connection. So I'm sorry for you, Fire Joe. I see now that your name is Joe, which is much easier for me to pronounce. Kafka for president. Oh, that's a nice picture. I'm really sorry if you disconnected, and I'm not even sure that you hear me right now, but I hope that you will be back for another Banter Blitz in the coming weeks, and we could play another game, because this game was not finished. So I would like to give you another chance to play against me and not lose because of a disconnection. I think that's not a fair point for me. Let's go for a new challenge and hope that Joe will be back later on and I can play with Joe another week maybe. Let's go for a new challenge. I think I haven't played against you, Lontas. And you are from South Africa, Christopher. Nice to meet you. I hope you guys see the board correctly and I can play my beloved French defense. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Oh, Victor was right. I can't bring back the board, can I? After this game, I will try to bring back the board. You were right that I was winning because there was knight e7 check in the position where I was explaining that there was rook c8. So no, black had to go bishop e6, attack my d5 knight, and then play rook c8. I think that should have been the way to play. Knight d2, by the way, the Tarrasch variation of the French defense, is a very popular line that nobody played against me in the Banter Blitz session, so I'm happy. Everybody went knight c3, and today we can see this Tarrasch variation too. That's something new for today. Bishop d3, c5, this is the main line with bishop e7. Well, bishop e7 is not a main line, but for me lately it has become my main move. c3 is normally not played, but usually white takes on c5. It's not played because I'm going to create an isolated pawn for you. You have to take back on d4, and then I can take on e4 as well, and it is an isolated pawn structure. Of course, there's nothing wrong with it if you like playing the IQP, isolated queen's pawn. That's gonna be on d4. Attacking players usually love the isolated pawn. Not me. Not me. For me, that's a weakness. Of course, this is just depending on your style. You might like playing with or against the isolated pawn. And I covered this in my middle game show, so if you haven't heard of the IQP middle game positions, you can check it on YouTube. Are you here, Lontas? I hope you are here, because this wasn't such a difficult move to make. Alright, I can play knight c6 first or take on e4. Let's see if it makes a big difference. Well, maybe not so much. Anyway, in the previous game, if you remember, where I was explaining that I might win the knight, you are right that I would have had knight e7 fork in the position I was explaining, rook c8, but if black played bishop e6 first, then my knight on d5 was going to be hanging. So if I move the knight, then I don't have knight d7. Maybe I can give there a check and then rook c1, but my knight on e7 will be also trapped. So I don't think I was winning a piece there. But maybe I'm wrong. I will check it afterwards, of course. Bishop b5, moving the bishop twice at such an early point of the game, I don't think is that good. Let's see if I can exploit it. Queen d5. So both the knight and the bishop are hanging. If you go back to d3, then bishop b5 didn't make sense, and the d4 pawn will be captured. Of course, I couldn't capture it with the pin. And if you take on c6, I just thought that even taking back with the pawn is interesting, because later I might develop the bishop to the a6 f1 diagonal and cut the king, so you will not be able to castle if I manage to carry out that plan. The knight is hanging, I've got the pair of bishops, but I will need to develop myself. I want to play knight f6 and castle, and play bishop a6 in the right moment, not allow castle kingside for white. That is my plan, and also to win this guy at some point in the game, maybe. Alright, let's see the comments while I'm waiting for my opponent's move. Christopher. It's Chris. Oh! Christopher, f3 looks like a weakening move for no reason. Why do you need that move? Okay, well, I need to punish that move if I'm calling it a bad move. I think it was just not necessary to play f3. It's weakening your king, and it takes away an important square from your knight. I understand you didn't want to move the knight from e4, but f3 was still not the move I would have ever made. And now if you move the knight, it really didn't make sense that you played f3. On the previous move, I developed my knight, and you pushed f3. So those are moves that one is good for me and the other is not useful for you. Of course, this doesn't mean that your position is lost. It just means that f3 is not helping you. Now, of course, I can still make mistakes. For instance, I could get my queen trapped on c4, but without the light squared bishop of white, I don't think my queen is in danger. You can castle, so bishop a6 will not prevent castling, but thanks to f3, I will bring my rook to d8 and push c5 at some point. I think this position is really nice for black. Once again, I just need to pay attention to any sort of trapping my own queen. I think I could trap it if I wanted, if I place my pawn on a6, and then I just need to take away the b4 square too. So imagine a3, b3, that would trap my queen with the pawn on a6. It's possible, but I don't want to trap it. I think black is pretty much better because of the weak d4 pawn. I also have a structural weakness, but it's much more difficult to attack my pawn on c6. My queen is active on c4, the rook is nicely placed on the d5, and f3 is really a move you don't want to play, because now you wish it was on f2, you wish your king was safer. Trading queens. Well, we can trade queens because even after that, I think my position is very nice. I will play bishop a6, pin this knight, and I'm going to win the pawn next move. So if rook e1, I can take on e2. Okay, going back, I'm not winning the pawn yet, but this position is still very nice for me. Now, how shall I continue? I can play knight d5. I can play c5 too, but do I want to play c5 and trade that pawn? That's a question. Without the queens, probably it's not that dangerous, of course, the diagonal for you anymore. So it was a good idea to trade queens. I think you did well. How shall I continue? Let's play knight d5. And then I can go bishop f6 to attack this pawn. I'm threatening to take on c3 and win material, so you have to go rook e1. And if rook e1, I think I'll just improve my position with bishop f6, but then bishop f6, knight e4. Let's play first rook b8. I develop this rook as well, and I prevent the development of the bishop. So you have to play first b3 if you want to move this bishop. Or, yeah, some way of protecting this pawn. I like my position because I think my pieces are more active and the d4 pawn will be hanging. Of course, as I said, I also have a weakness, but for the moment it's not attacked. If you take on d5, I was going to say that it's an option, but I can either connect my pawns, which is nicer for my pawn chain, but closes the d5. So I will take back with the rook, because even though my pawn is still weak, at least my rook is more active. Sometimes you need to think a little bit more about the pieces than the pawns themselves. If you can get very active pieces, a worse pawn structure is not that bad. I can take this knight and then on d4 win a pawn, or I can play bishop f6, then bishop b2. Oh, wait a second, I'm winning more than that. I'm winning a piece. Bishop b4. Actually, I didn't think about this move before because with the knight on c3, I was not going to win anything, but after knight takes d5, bishop b4 just wins material on the spot. So I'm winning at least an exchange. If you move the bishop, I will take on e1. You cannot move the rook because I'm gonna take the knight on e2. So this is very painful. And now, well, I can just either play e5, which is a nice move, I think, but then bishop b2. Yeah, I'm gonna play e5 because you can't take this, then I'm gonna win also the knight. If you play bishop b2, then I will take the knight in that moment and I'm gonna capture the pawn with my pawn, create a passed pawn, so it's an exchange and a pawn up with a powerful passed pawn, and I even have time on the clock, so this position is winning for me. Bishop e3 is also an option, but now let's just simplify the position. When you have material up, usually it's a good idea to simplify. I'm gonna play d3 first and then give the check so white cannot place the king on d3. Bring the rook to the open file. I'm threatening rook e2, and this is pretty much over. Of course, you still have to make good moves. Let's trade rooks. And yeah, I'm not winning on the spot, of course. I still need to bring my king. You should activate the king. Oh, I don't have much time, so actually, I should make a few moves as a pre-move. Rook a6, of course, was just a pre-move that I was sure that would not lose. It's a light square, so it's safe to play. Of course, a much better move would be king d5, king e4, and it's a completely winning endgame. Now, I don't think that this was the point where it went wrong for white. It went wrong much before that. I think here, because bishop b5 in itself shouldn't be that bad. I think it's not the best move. I think you could just simply develop your knight. I can never take this pawn because of bishop b5 check, winning my queen. So really bishop b5 was not necessary. After bishop b5, I like my position because I have this bishop a6 move, which will cut your king. Now, it's not the end of the world. I think if in this position you would have played knight c3. Oh, you can't. Now I understand you. All right. Pardon me. Actually, I understand now why f3 was needed. Okay, you can't play this because I'm gonna take your pawn on g2. All right. I got it. But even if you can't play knight c3, I don't want to play f3. Like, there must be another move. What if you just play queen d3? Maybe you were afraid that I'm going to play something like e5. Could be. You can't take it because of the pin, and then I might play bishop f5 later, but then knight f6 check. Well, even like this, knight f3, you protect this pawn, and I cannot win the piece because if bishop f5, then knight f6, and you will take the bishop on f5. Okay, perhaps this is already worse for white. I was wrong. f3 is actually not that bad, because now I understand you wanted to play knight c3, but the g2 pawn was hanging. So Christopher, apologies that I was claiming that f3 was not needed at all. I still think it's a weakening move, but I guess you were afraid that you would lose material if you don't play f3. So it might not be true, but I understand that it's a scary position. Yeah, queen d3. If queen e2, I'm gonna take this pawn. Queen d3. Another option for me is a5 and then bishop a6. So yeah, it is really looking good for black. Probably you are right that after the capture on c6, the lack of the light square bishop, so bishop b5, queen d5, I was forcing you to take a decision and do something with these hanging pieces, and really here the position is pretty much open already, so the bishops will be very powerful. Bishop a6. Yeah, I think black is already better, and it's just move 9, which is surprisingly early for black to be better. Maybe you have to give up this d4 pawn and go something like queen e2, and if I take, at least just develop your pieces as quickly as possible. Castle next move, and it's a pawn down, but at least you developed your pieces. Queen a4 and bishop a6. Not easy. You are probably right that it was already difficult here. So f3, knight f6, knight c3. And well, you didn't lose material, but it's just very unpleasant with this isolated weak pawn on d4. The diagonal open, like next move could be c5 for me, and it's pretty much losing a pawn, at least for white, because you can never take back on d4, even if you could protect it with many pieces, because of the pin on the d file, pin with bishop c5. So c5 next move. If you move the queen away somewhere else, I might still play c5. But trading queens, I think, was a good idea. And here you were holding on. But now I'm threatening bishop b4. After the capture on d5, I'm threatening that move. So yes, you should play king f2 or move the knight. You are going to lose the d4 pawn, and I have a pair of bishops, so I think this endgame is close to be winning for black, because if I win the pawn plus I have better pieces and a pair of bishops, then there's not much to talk about. Maybe the best for you, if you lose the d4 pawn, but at least force me to give up my bishop for it. So it's a pawn down, but at least I don't have a pair of bishops anymore. I still think this should be winning, but technically I still need to prove that I can win this endgame with a pawn up. So it was a very tough position, actually, Christopher. I think probably an engine would defend it after bishop b5 too, but for a human, I think this position is very, very uncomfortable already. So next time, don't play two moves with the bishop, especially in such open positions. You can do that in closed positions, maneuver with your pieces, but here it's very open. You need to develop every piece very quickly. So knight f3, I can never take this pawn because of bishop b5 check in the end, wins the queen. That's basically the way. Knight f3 and you castle, that's it. And if you don't want to have an isolated pawn, then don't play c3 here. After c5, you can take on c5, and then you will not have an isolated pawn on d4. Cat Weasel is asking if this is Miss Strategy or Banter Blitz. Well, it's a mix of Miss Strategy, Banter Blitz. Jay Aspie is saying that he lost my shoes. I'm wearing slippers. So I think if you follow me on social media, you know all my slippers. I've taken pictures of my slippers, just showing you that a streamer looks nice up here until what you see. Actually, this is a dress, so it's even decent afterwards, but I'm wearing slippers. I'm at home, so no fancy shoes. This is slipper style streaming, and you will get a discount. Yes, everybody gets a discount tomorrow, because tomorrow is the birthday of my baby. My training course is coming out tomorrow. If you want to know more about it, I will share it on Facebook, on my Facebook page, Anna Rudolf. I will share it on my Twitter, Anna Chess. I will share it on my Instagram. I'll share it everywhere because I'm so proud of it. I've been working on this for so long, and tomorrow is the big day for my training course. It's the launch. So there will be a discount for everybody. Make sure that you follow me on any of those social platforms, and then you will have a link to where you get discount for my course just because of being a loyal follower of mine. So follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. One of them is enough, and you will get discount for the course. This was a good question, by the way, Jeroen. I think we have time for at least one more game, if not two. So let's go for a new challenge. What do you guys think about that? Let's try to find someone who I haven't played yet and is challenging me for a 5-minute rated Blitz game. All right, let's see. I think this is a new username. Am I right? Dale Allenson from Australia. Wow, nice to meet you. Isn't it very late in Australia or very early? What time is it in Australia? I think it's in the morning already. How many hours of difference are there between Europe and Australia? I don't know it, but I'm right, so I should make a move. Let me know in the chat if you know what time is it in Australia right now. I'm in Spain and it's 11:15. Soon bedtime for me. Although I haven't had much dinner. I don't even know what I'm saying. Scandinavia now. You see, this d5 move I'm aware of. I'm not aware of e4, e5, knight f3, d5. I should check that opening. I don't know the name of it and I don't know how to play against it. Queen d8 now. Of course, it's possible, and queen a5 and queen d6, those are the main options in the Scandinavian. And I'll just play the normal moves. d4, knight f3, develop my pieces. Actually, I think the Scandinavian is a pretty good opening if you like these kind of positions. The setup. White has a very pleasant position, more space, and you can develop your pieces the way you like. Basically, there are many setups that you can choose between. I don't know if bishop d3 is the best move, but I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for some simple position. Bishop g6, interesting. I will not take it for the moment, I just castle. So basically, in all these Scandinavian openings, well, the Scandinavian defense, I mean, not the Scandinavian openings, what's that? e6 and c6 will be the setup for black. And that is a very solid setup. So I think this is actually a good opening for those of you who like solid positions. Knight e5, I'm not blundering my pawn, that's good news. It can't be taken because of bishop e5 check. If he takes on d3, I'm gonna take with the queen. Oh, I see there's a link to our video series with Sophico, Magnus Carlsen, the world champion. Yeah, that was so much fun to film, and it's of course always so nice to work with Sophico. We hope to be back in the studio soon, but she of course had to take care of her baby boy first, and that was a priority. I'm basically just trying to develop my pieces as quickly as possible, bring the rooks to d1 and e1, and hope that there's nothing hanging. The f4 bishop is in the air, but I don't think that black can take advantage of it. Knight d5 I might take. Knight h5, the knight looks weird there. a6, that is a bit surprising. I guess you want to prevent knight b5 or queen b5 check, but was that necessary already? I don't know. I'm just gonna keep on developing. I need to play faster because I'm a minute behind on the clock. Should play faster. Thanks to more space, my development is more comfortable. Knight c6? That is very surprising. Why are you destroying your own pawn structure? I'm not gonna take on d6 because then I straighten your pawns. Doubled pawns and isolated pawns, I don't like that for black. But I should prove that it's bad. How to prove it? All right. Well, first of all, I'm gonna place this here. Do I want to place it here? I don't know. But I thought that if bishop g5, I might step into some bishop takes h2, knight g4, and that would be a knight, queen takes g5 in the end. So I just want to prove that those pawns are very weak. That's my strategy. Knight e4, take with the queen, and claim that these pawns are very weak. Of course, it doesn't mean that you're gonna win those pawns immediately, but black will have to be protecting those pawns for quite a while, basically the whole game, unless he can get rid of it. So maybe the best for black is to take here, take on g3, and then play queen d5. Actually, yes, maybe knight e4 was not even the best move for white. Now bishop takes g3 and queen d5. Oh, he doesn't want to. Well, then I'm gonna play c4 and prevent queen d5 in the future. Oh, I see that Joe is back. Joe is already with us. And yes, you did surprise me in the opening. So kudos to you, Joe. That game with e4, e5, knight f3, d5. I've never seen it in my life and I didn't know how to play against it. So it was definitely a very interesting game that I shouldn't have won on time. So I don't think it's a fair point for me to win because of the disconnection. And I want you to challenge me in the future too for a Banter Blitz. And I will play against you once again. All right, I'm low on time. I mean, I have less time than my opponent, so that's for me low on time. I just want to develop, well, double rooks on the d5. Actually, rook e1 was not needed, but first I thought if I go rook d3, he might have c5, and I can't take that pawn because of the pin on the d file. After c5, I was going to push d5. So that was my plan. Now you see, he always has to be protecting these pawns, and that's why it's just bad to weaken your pawn structure that much. Doesn't mean that he's lost immediately. I need to be improving my position all the time and find a way to exploit these weaknesses. And it's usually not immediately. It's a long-term weakness when you have weak pawns and weak squares, because these pawns are weak in themselves and are also the squares around them are weak. And that's mainly why it's so difficult to play this position for black. You see, now I can attack this pawn. I can be switching which weakness I target. He's giving me the pawn because he wants to play rook a8 afterwards, I guess. Then I can take the c6 pawn too. Let's go for that. I could also play a4 actually. Which one is better? Well, okay, perhaps a4 is better. I could have taken and then on c6, but I didn't want him to have an active rook on the second rank after rook takes a2. I'm pretty sure that that position should be good for white, because then the e6 pawn was also going to fall, but I want to keep it simple. I have 1 minute on the clock, and yeah, perhaps the best was to win the pawn immediately, because now I'm not winning the pawn anymore. But anyway, ooh, will I allow e5? I'm going to allow e5. So yeah, I think I should have taken the pawn earlier, because now I'm not winning anything. And he might play c5 or e5, and this is also pinned. I misplayed this. I should have taken immediately. Yeah, now we are all pinning each other. He can play e5, and the pawns are still weak. The pawns are still weak, but I'm not winning them immediately. Let's bring back the queen. I could have played f4 too, but I didn't think that was the best move with my queen on a5. All right, let's relocate the queen. Now I want the light squares for my queen. Queen e4, queen f5. I should have taken the pawn earlier, so this was misplayed by me. Now the position is very closed. I need to find a way to crack it. All right, I don't think g6 helping you. I think it's unnecessary weakening. I'm gonna play rook h6 next move probably, but let's not pre-move it. He might attack something and I will lose a piece because I pre-move. Oh, queen e7, I didn't even realize that he made the move. I was like, my clock is running. I might lose this game on time if I continue like this. Too slow. Too slow. King g7, I guess. g5 is weakening. Now you have more squares, more holes on the light squares. I'm gonna use those light squares. So I like my position a lot, but it's not winning immediately. That's why I should have taken the pawn, and that could have been, now it's too close. So it's a position that I love playing, but I don't have time to play it. Whoa. Oh, nice trick. I can't take it. My queen. Rook e5. Oh! I lost my queen. I'm gonna resign. Whoa. Whoa. This was painful. Oh my. Here, e4. That's a beautiful trick. I can't take this because of the back rank. Look at this. Oh, no, I could have taken it. I have a check on h7 and I'm winning. You see, when you don't have time and you cannot calculate the line properly, you might... I really believed your trick, Dale Allenson. Well played trick. This was a very well played trick because black is very passive. So this position is very sad for black. It's basically typically a positionally lost position. It takes lots of time, lots of moves to convert this into a full point, but this position is pretty much lost for black because there are lots of weaknesses in his position and he's passive. e4 is a very good trick, and I completely missed that in this position rook e8 is now winning because I have queen h7 check. So when I calculated, I thought, okay, I can't take because in the end he has rook e8, and if I didn't have queen h7, then after rook e8, oh, no, I'm not. Total chess blindness. It's not even made because I would have had queen b1, even if I don't have the check. So complete failure from my side. And after e4, it's not that I didn't win the game, win a pawn and then the game, but I blunder my queen because after moving the rook, my queen is trapped. So well played, Dale Allenson. Good job. I completely missed this trick. My queen is trapped. You see, a beautifully placed piece. This queen on f5 is very nice. 2 moves later, it's trapped. Now that's a huge difference. So e4 is a very good trick. And if I had time, I would have calculated it. With 15 seconds on the clock, I did not manage to calculate it properly that I can take this pawn. To be fair with Dale Allenson, I think he would have won the game even if I take this pawn. So this position is winning for white, but I would have had 12 seconds here versus his 1 minute 18 seconds. So I guess even though my position is winning, I wouldn't have had enough time to convert it. Good job, Dale Allenson. It means that you made me think a lot. So that is part of the game, the time factor. And basically during the whole game you were playing faster than I was. I like my position and I think I was playing well positionally. I think knight c6 is a bad move because it weakens your pawn structure unnecessarily. I wouldn't have done that. If you want to develop that knight, go to knight d7. So when I take, nothing happens. I wouldn't have taken on d7, but what I mean is that you are not weakening your pawn structure. Keep it healthy, keep it nice. It was very nice like this. Don't ruin it by playing knight c6. After that, I think my position is really nice. Here, I think you should play active. You should take on g3 and play queen d5 so that at least your queen is active. Of course, I will never take this because then I straighten your pawn structure. But if I move the queen away, at least it meant that you could activate your queen, and maybe then you chase me with the queen d6, and it's a heavy piece endgame, and I'm better, but it's not much of an advantage. Later in the game, after queen d7, c4, now I don't give you the chance anymore to play queen d5 in the future. And this position is very pleasant for white. I love these kind of positions. You have a slightly better position because of these weaknesses, but black is passive for the whole game. So all you need to do as white is to keep improving the position step by step. Every move I gain more space, I improve a piece, just little factors. And you need to be patient in these positions because it takes ages. It takes ages to actually get a full point out of these kind of positions. Now, I think a critical moment of the game was here after queen e7, where I had the chance to take this pawn, and I knew that objectively this could be the best move because I'm a pawn up. But I didn't want to give black the opportunity to activate his rook to this much extent. Here, the e6 pawn is weak as well, so probably I can just go rook e3 and claim that I'm gonna win in one more pawn, but I don't think that I'm winning it immediately. There's rook d6, and of course white should be close to winning. If not winning, d5 could come later on. So this position should be very good for white. Instead, what I did was the long way of converting it, playing a4. So now I'm threatening to take this. But yeah, the position became very close, and with short time on the clock, this isn't very practical. I think I had to go for a more forced variation, like queen takes a6 and queen c6, because these kind of closed positions are very nice for white. Very nice because I have better pieces, better pawn structure, but it takes very long time to convert it. So after queen f5, I'm provoking you to play g6. He did play g6. Now the h6 pawn is weak. Now I'm gonna attack the h6 pawn. I'm attacking it with one more piece. I'm provoking g5. The move g5 weakens the light squares, so I go back with the queen to the light squares. It's beautiful to play like this if you enjoy positional play like I do. I would love to have this position in any game against anyone, even Magnus Carlsen, if I had time on the clock. But if you don't have time on the clock, this is not practical because it's going to take forever to convert it, and I was always a minute behind on the clock. So my time management was the main issue that made me lose this game and this blunder. I blundered my queen, my precious queen. Well done, Dale. Good job. You tricked me. Kudos to you. And also, of course, kudos because you made me think and you played much faster, which is part of the game. So your time management was a main factor that gave you the point, and that's very well deserved. Congratulations to you, and congrats to everyone who played against me today. This has been Banter Blitz with Miss Strategy, who played too strategically the last game. I need to check the opening Joe played against me. If you remember, it started with, if you were not here, let me show you, e4, e5, knight f3, d5. I've never in my life seen this opening. I played chess for already about 25 years. My whole life, basically, I've been playing chess and I've never seen this opening. Seriously, I've never seen it. So I didn't know what's the best reaction. I thought it should be okay to take it, but maybe it's not the most challenging because suddenly we traded all those central pawns. I don't know if this is the best continuation. I just thought this is the most natural, but I seriously have no idea what is this opening called and what is the main move of white. If not e takes d5, what else? I don't think I should take here. Maybe I figured out the best continuation, or maybe not. I will check it. I want to know what is it called. I think some of you have said that it's the elephant. Is it the elephant? I thought that was another one. Anyway, I'll check it. You can also check it if you're curious about this opening that Joe played against me. I will play another game with you, Joe, another day because of the disconnection. So that was an incomplete game, and I want to play against every one of you. If today you didn't get a chance to play Banter Blitz with me, be back next Thursday because I will play more Banter Blitz. And also, Sopico, it's Miss Strategy, Miss Tactics Day. And remember that tomorrow my baby is going to be born. My training course, the super secret training course I've been working on, is out tomorrow. So basically, I'm gonna go to sleep now. And when I wake up, I think it's going to be published already. It's so exciting. I feel like a child before Christmas, and I just can't wait to wake up and see what's under the Christmas tree. And this time it's going to be something that I prepared, but I'm excited about it so much. And I want to know your feedback on it. So if you will become my pupil and if you get my training course, do let me know what you think about it because I want honest feedback. If you like it, if you find the topic interesting, if it's going to improve your chess skills, because it is for club players basically from the rating 1200 to 2100 at least. And it's because it's not chess in itself. I'm not teaching you concrete openings. I'm not teaching you chess traps. I'm not teaching certain middle game positions. I'm teaching you how to think systematically and how to think in a more efficient way. So that's why it's serving basically any club player, because this is a method. It is literally a method on how to think at each stage of the game. That is what I'm teaching in my training course. And I also focus on 5 obstacles that I think prevent club players from improving. So all the messages you sent me, I ask you guys basically so often, what is the reason why you cannot improve? I asked that to you because I wanted to honestly know what is the reason why many of you study chess, you play chess, you follow events, and you are stuck at a certain level. That was my main challenge, to find the reason why that happens. And then once I discovered the obstacles, I think I did manage to discover most of the obstacles, find a solution to that. And so all that is in my method, and it's tomorrow. I know I speak a lot, so excuse me for that. I'm just so excited about the training course. It's out tomorrow. Follow me on Facebook, on Twitter or Instagram, and you will see the whole project. It's going to be published tomorrow on my social media. Thank you for listening to me today. I'll be back next Thursday. Have a lovely evening or day or morning, depending on where you are. I'll check now. What time is it in Australia, by the way? And I will see you guys next Thursday on a Miss Strategy, Miss Tactics Day. If you follow me on other chess sites, then you will also see me tomorrow and on Saturday. I'm going to be live streaming all these days. So yeah, find me online somewhere one of these days. And tomorrow, let me know what you think about my project. See you then.